Hello, legends and super legends. Welcome to Veloharmony Live. I had some technical challenges. That's why we're a few minutes off. I kind of pushed it to 1:15 Central Time. We had a bunch of storms last night, and my system's already set up. I've got like power backups and so forth, but apparently some of the connections were affected by the flickering of electrical power last night, so my camera would not come on. That's what I was working with. We got that all sorted. Eric, happy hump day to you too. It is Wednesday, and since the weekend, I have not trained. Been busy with other stuff. Just decided to rest for a couple of days. So I took Monday and Tuesday off. I'm going to do a trainer session tonight sometime, maybe about 5 Central for about an hour or so. Just kind of spin, not really train. Just going to get my body loose. I've got the kilometers in, so I'm not that concerned about that, but it's just a matter of trying to catch up. Been busy with the channel. Channel news. We are on Stitcher. Those of you who don't have iTunes. Hey, Paul is here. Those of you who don't have iTunes, we're on Stitcher now. So if you go to Stitcher.com, but if you have Stitcher, chances are you have the app. Just search for Veloharmony. The core channel is there. And a bunch of the playlists, live streams. I put the history channel and all those things in there. Stitcher is a lot easier to work with than even iTunes. They're a lot quicker because when you submit a podcast, it has to be approved for your genre. You know, you can't say I'm G-rated and then submit X-rated stuff. So they got to make sure that what you say you are is what you are. So they got to check your content. But we've got a bunch of stuff. We're out there. So I think Todd Moreau is one of the people that only has Stitcher. He didn't have iTunes. So we're on both platforms now. And on Stitcher, what's really cool is it's all radio format. So basically, they take the feed from iTunes and convert it to radio. On iTunes, they give you the option of both. So I think that's really cool. So we're moving up in the world. Let's put it that way. Moving on up. Let's see here. Tiago Nepomuceno Cruz. Interesting middle name there. Nepomuceno. How you doing, Tiago? Robert is here. Hey, Robert. Christopher Roxbury, your package is en route. I basically have the tracking coming to me. So the Postal Service has been letting me know it has left Houston. So it's on the way. It's a 2-day. I did a 2-day. So you should have it Thursday evening by 8 p.m. That's what they're saying. And they've been updating me. I have the active updates coming to my phone just to make sure. Let's see. Jay Jofi. Oh, there it is. That's Julie. Hey, Julie. Great, great. We need more females in here. We need more females in the group. They bring a different perspective. You know, guys, we think differently. We got a different kind of brain than women. So we need that balance. Donnie Seals, how you doing? So, yeah. So let's see here. The video that I loaded, the one I made with I'm going to make another video about the Essentials kit because a lot of people have a lot of questions. Some people went to the website, send messages. A lot of people don't necessarily comment on the video. And some of the questions I can see why. They have specific things. So depending on what kind of feedback I get, it kind of leads me in the direction to finish up any kind of topic I started. A lot of people missed the premise behind the saddlebag video. The saddlebag video, that my titles are very direct. I'm not trying to mislead anybody. It said Saddlebag Essentials. And then we have people that were like, oh, if you can carry a multi-tool, why wouldn't you put it in there? And yet, you know, you can carry a lot of crap. It doesn't mean you're going to need it. And that was the thing, you know, so some people miss that. And what I'm trying to get people to see is that don't depend on carrying stuff on the road and neglect maintenance. Hey, Timothy. Noel, how you doing? You know, so keep your bike maintained because those multi-tools can replace the full tools that you would use either at home or making sure your bike is maintained by the local bike shop. So it's kind of, you know, people need to keep in mind that carry what you absolutely have to have. And don't just, you know, one guy came there, he said he carries a pannier. And that's okay if you're touring and you're carrying other stuff. But don't get a pannier to carry carry a patch kit. That's overkill. You know, you're not going to need all that stuff on a ride per se. Even if you're going on a long adventure ride, make sure your tires are in good condition. Make sure, you know, there's nothing stuck in your tires like we talk about on the channel. Check your tires. If you're doing all of that, it's not very likely you're going to need all that stuff. And I think he missed the point. And it was like he was saying that, oh, I want to carry stuff so I can share with other people. And my reply was, you shouldn't pack for other people. Pack what you need. Every rider should pack what they need. Don't pack for other people. That's not going to get you into the kingdom of heaven. Let's put it that way. If you happen to have something and someone's in a bind, fine. But don't pack because someone might need a multi-tool. Pack because you might need a multi-tool. And that was the point he kind of missed. And so we went round and around. So it was kind of cool to see. Murky Blade, is the Rafa race jersey a better fit? I'm not sure what you mean by that. There is no Rafa race jersey. They're called Pro Team. There are different categories. I think maybe what you mean is, or what you may mean, and I'll explain this way. Rafa has a core, they have classic, then they have Pro Team. The fits are all different. So you have to find the one that fits you the way you like. So like I said in the video, I prefer the Pro Team for my body type. I have a V-shaped body. I have broad shoulders, fairly broad, and then my waist comes down like that. So race fit jerseys particularly suit my body type. So if you're shaped differently, then you may want to get the classic Rafa. That's why they make that, because every human body is different. So even Santini has what they call the Aerodynamic Fit, aka race fit. And all the manufacturers have that. So you as a consumer needs to find out which type of jersey fits you. My challenge has been, I've had to invest money at the Alterations shop because I've bought jerseys that I liked. Then they got here and they were like more, some people call them club fit. They were more of a club fit. And I like my jerseys to fit me tight so that when I load up my pockets, they don't move on me. My waist is relatively small for my size and shoulder, put it that way. So I'm like a 30, 33, 34 waist. And then I've got 42 chest. So most of the jerseys that I cut regular, the waist is too big. And so I take it down to the seamstress and they take out fabric from the sides. They leave up here alone because up here fits. And then so when I buy jerseys, regardless, if I buy from Santini, Castelli, whatever, I look for what they call race fit or aerodynamic fit. So that's the way you want to think about it, Murky Blaze, is find out what works for you and find out what sizing you want to buy in a particular jersey. See here. Julie says, Joe Field says, I feel inadequate. Well, we need to change that. I feel inadequate because I am still learning to ride a bike. So I'm just getting some tips, which has been great so far. I don't know what you mean by you feel inadequate. We all had to learn, Julie. So I don't follow. I guess, I don't know if you mean, you don't have to have been riding for an extensive period of time to be here. I hope you're not feeling inadequate being in this audience. Because as I've said many times over, a lot of the guys, that's why when you watch my narration, if you've watched some of our group rides, those guys have been riding for years. They still have no idea what we're discussing here in a lot of cases. And they're not alone. There's a lot of cyclists out there just ride. They don't know. So I'm really thrilled. That's why I've invested all this time into this channel. I really believe in what we're doing here because I didn't have that. So don't feel inadequate. That's why with this live session, there's something unique on this channel. You can ask whatever questions you want. I will point you to the videos we have so you can learn because information is power. You know, you're ahead of the game. I don't care if you're just learning. The fact that you're here, you're years ahead of many riders that have been riding for years that are not here. I don't know if you saw the last ride. A guy named Randy, one of our super legends on the channel, almost killed himself. I had to go up there, put my arm around him and whisper in his ear. And he nodded immediately. So I didn't have to convince him. It was almost like he knew he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. But you know how guys are, our egos. So whatever made him do that, he kind of knew. Because as soon as I started the thing, he nodded, and immediately, you guys that watched the video, he came off the front. So it helps to have somebody, like a lot of times I want to go ride and it's raining. But the fact that I have an appointment with Paul, I'm like, okay, well, I got to go. We have a standing appointment and we go. Sometimes you need that extra person to get you out the door or get you to do something. So no, find another friend or other cyclist. Doesn't have male or female, doesn't matter. Find somebody who shares your love for the sport. That will help egg you on. Don't feel inadequate. You're here. This is where you belong. So let us know what you feel inadequate about and ask so we can get rid of that feeling while you're here. Don't feel that way. Let's see here. Team Dog 1066. How you doing, Tim? Greetings. Hey, Todd is here. Todd, we're on Stitcher. Veloharmony is on Stitcher. I remember seeing a comment from you on the response to the posted comment on the channel that you were waiting for the Stitcher app. We're on Stitcher. We've got the live stream, the whole channel. We got other playlists there at the same level as iTunes. Everything that's on iTunes has been fed to Stitcher, and we'll continue to roll out the other playlists. So the entire channel is there, and then the playlist for live streams, cycling history, interval training, the other plays similar, because it's basically being fed from iTunes. All the playlists are not there yet, but I want to put the playlist there so even though you're subscribed to the entire channel, you can subscribe to a subset just like they have on YouTube. So you guys can enjoy that. I listened to it. It works. I tested it and everything is great. It's all audio, radio format. So that's great. iTunes kind of give you both, but you can ignore the video on iTunes. I like the way they do that too. Let's see here. Timothy Jeffrey, unfortunately, I can't stay for the whole session as I have to go out. That's fine, Timothy. I looked at the most recent group and I was thinking it may be a good idea to do live commentary in a live session. Live commentary in a live session? I don't know. That would be overkill. I can't do a commentary on what I'm talking about here. So I don't follow you, Timothy. That would not work. You can replay the video and just follow the session. That's what we do when they load it on there. So yeah, that's 2 hours of commentary I would have to do. That's too much. I'm already investing a lot of time out here. So no, that's not going to happen. This is the way it is. You can't attend, just replay it, and you can look at the chat and follow. That's why I call people's names when I do that. Charlie Hughes, have you had any experience of alterations to the bib shorts? No, I haven't. I haven't had a need to. I get my size, they fit. But if you get a good tailor, they can do anything. Tailors put those together. They can fix them. Yeah, the alterations are not cheap. I don't cut corners. When I have people that touch the place I take my cycling jerseys to get altered are the places where women go to have their wedding dresses altered. That's just to give you an idea of the quality of the tailors that I select. I don't play around. So she'll charge anywhere from $18 to $35 to do, depending on what you want done. Yeah, I don't cut corners because the jerseys are expensive. I want them done right. She alters that stuff you can't tell. And that's where you need to go. So if you're getting bib short, I mean, basically, she'll pin it up on you however you want and then do it. But a lot of times I just take another jersey that I like the fit of and just tell her, make this jersey fit like this one. And usually that's good enough. But yeah, you need to get a good tailor. Let's see, Mansoor. What is your opinion on the Cell SMP Straddle saddle? I have no experience with that. I only use the dynamic. So if you want to try the Stratus, you're going to have to spend your money and experience it. That's why I did the dynamic. I don't have a LBS that has loaners. So what I suggest is if you don't have somebody that has loaners, then yes, you will be trying it for yourself. Then you can give us feedback because saddles are very specific to the human body. All those different models that SMP makes fit each person differently. I could probably use different models, but it's just not practical. They're $240 per saddle. It's not possible to go test all of them. So no, you're going to have to try it and let us know how it works for you. The gravel cruncher of Europa. It's confirmed I have the best gravel bike in Madrid. confirmed by whom? Julie, you're welcome. Julie, don't feel inadequate. Just when you're here, ask whatever questions you want. If you want to send a note, you can go to the website, veloharmony.com, and send a note. I'll respond. But yeah, just educate yourself and it'll come because you're really ahead of the game. We ride with people that are right here with us, don't even come to the channel, and they know it's out there. They see us with the camera every week. I don't know if those of you who are on the premiere on Monday, there's a guy named Jeremy Stiberick that came on and said he was spinning to the thing. And my comment to him was, you realize these rides are local, right? He's right here with us. It's been more than a year. We haven't seen him on a ride. So he said, oh, I work most Saturdays. And I'm not sure if he realized that he used the word most. You ride most Saturdays. So what's keeping you? You didn't say, I work. You say, I work most Saturdays. Okay. A lot of people work most Saturdays. So what about the Saturdays you don't work? Where are you? We got people traveling here from Frisco, Texas, and other places, Alabama, to come ride with us. You're right here. So I just kind of laughed. I did that just to see what he would say. And that was kind of like, I'm not sure what brought it back. Let's see here. Benny Lee, ever thought about doing videos on wrong fit and how to spot them? No, I don't do that because the group rides cover that. If you watch our group rides, I comment about that all the time in the commentary. So yeah, we have videos about wrong bike fit. We had one this weekend where we talked about Randy and then Paul H. So yeah, if you watch the group rides, yeah, obviously you haven't watched the group rides, so you skimmed through them, or you wouldn't have asked that question. So yes, we have many videos on wrong bike fit and how to spot them. Yes, we have about over 50 something. I don't know how many videos we have in the group ride. That's the reason we do the group rides, and I invest the time to edit and narrate instead of standing in the studio and trying to show you how to spot things. You literally see it on the road during a serious ride, so you see it in action. So yes, many videos on that in the bike, the group ride cycling playlist. You'll find them there. Let's see here. Tiago, if I miss anybody's question as we go through and you want it answered, try using the super chats, because I'm not going to be skipping the super legends and the other patrons that are on here. I think I put that on the channel page. They get precedence, so not everybody's going to be answered. We got to keep this. Those are the people that make this possible. I can invest this time into this. So let's see here. Hey, Farmer 2702, one of our other super legends. Welcome to the channel, the live Veloharmony Live. And if you have Stitcher, since you just got here, we're on Stitcher now. We were only on iTunes podcast. Now we're on Stitcher. Those are the two places I'm going to focus on. I don't know what other platforms are out there, but we're not going to be on every platform. And on Stitcher, I saw that you can use it on iOS and Android and whatever. So they have a good app. Lacoste Anderson. Hey, how are you doing? He says, hello, Elder. Thank you for all your expertise. We're mainly flat and windy in Elk Grove, California. We've got that here too. Southwest Houston is like Kansas. He said, my legs scream at the thought of hills. What do you recommend for repeats over a short overpass? What do I recommend for repeats? Well, if you want specifics on workouts, Lacoste, you will have to sign up for, you can either get one of our base training plans, or you can sign up for one of our coaching plans, and I can get your specifics and know what kind of workout you're doing and where you are. I can't give you advice. I don't know what you're doing or what your fitness level is or anything. But, if you have overpasses, just ride them. If you need specific workouts, go to our website and grab the training plans. We got workouts in there. In fact, I'm currently working on our in-season training plans like Wesley Steven and some of the other guys are waiting on. They've got the winter base training plan already. Our base training plan is not about riding around slowly. I saw somebody on the website answer. That's why I tell people to be careful where you get your advice. Someone asked a question about training, which was very specific, and I gave them the same answer on the channel page under one of the videos that I just gave to Lacoste. And some other guy just came and said, base training means you're riding slow till you get tired. Something like, I'm paraphrasing, which has nothing to do with base training. So, you have to be careful where you get your advice. I've said that here many times. I just kind of smile. I went ahead and removed this comment. I removed the comment because I don't want anybody putting anything misleading on the channel for riders that come to the channel, because if he's got something to say, he needs to open a channel and do it there. Don't bring the wrong information. This is an educational channel. I'm not going to have you give somebody information that causes them to fail. That's why I don't give people who I don't know advice. Now, a lot of the stuff is general, but when you start getting specific, we got to find out what your goals are and what your fitness level is before I can give you anything specific. So if you want to work on hills, you have to build strength in your legs. But then we got to know what kind of workout to give you so you don't hurt your knees. That's the best example I can give. So let's see here. Well, Gravel Cruncher, I noticed you putting a lot of comments out here. We're just going to ignore them, and you need to refrain from that. This is a hangout, so if you're talking to somebody or whatever, or you're asking questions, that's great. This is not a place for you to come talk about, oh, Portugal is the most beautiful country. Everybody feel that way about where they live. That's not what this is about. So if your comments start to get too much, we're going to put you in timeout. Just be aware of that. You need to be adding to the forum, not disrupting. All right. I just saw your last comment. You say you're here to learn and pester. Well, that's not what we're here for. Let's see here. Hey, Evgeny. I think it's Evgeny or Evgeny. Evgeny Dimitrov. Welcome. Bad Vegan. A live chat. Good to listen to some cycling church while I work. Bad Vegan. Not sure why you call yourself Bad Vegan. That's like these people when they say we're having bad weather. Like today, I took my wife to work because her car's in the shop. So I had to get up like at 6 to drop her off. And the people on the radio said that there were some accidents in the area because of bad weather, which in this city is nonsense. These people have accidents even on the fairest days because they don't drive very carefully. There were fender benders all over the place. It's wet, but you have to tell them that it's slippery. Like, duh. So he said bad weather, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. There is no, when you say bad weather because it's raining, what's bad about rain? If it stopped raining, we'd all die. We can't live without water. Bad weather. Where do you think the water comes from? So when they say stuff like that, they're not even thinking. The weather may be challenging, so you adapt. Just like Saturday in the wind. There's nothing bad about that day. That's why you got a small chain ring. All these macho guys on the big chain ring. I told you about people cross-chaining. Why is it there? If you have 2 chain rings, why would you not use the little one? Like if you're going up a mountain pass or an overpass. I don't know what it is about guys lugging a large gear and killing their knees, getting home with aches because you've been overloading your knees. You can blow your knees with the wrong gear. And so there's no bad weather. There's challenging weather. All the weather's great. We need it. We can't live without water. So, it's raining, so it's bad. Nah. I don't get that. So I just kind of laughed. I'm like, please. They've got a forum and don't even understand it. It puts the wrong thing in little kids as they grow up. They're going to associate bad with rain. So I just got that when I saw his name, Bad Vegan. I'm sure he has a reason for that. So anyway, TD Archer. I am a former bodybuilder and I still struggle on hills. How do you determine the best pace for you? Whatever pace you can handle. If you're struggling on hills, that means the pace is too hard for you. But you say you're a former bodybuilder, so I'm going to assume you have a lot of muscle mass. So you're carrying, you need more watts per kilo to carry more watts. Even Eddie Merckx, when he was in his prime, he would compete against a guy named Luis Ocana, which was a small guy, kind of like Pantani kind of size. And he always had trouble with that guy because Eddie Merckx weighed like 20 kilos more than that guy. So he had to carry an extra 40 pounds up the hill, something like that. And so if you're a big guy, you have to find a gear you can maintain when you're climbing at your cruising cadence. That's where you start. But then if you want to improve on the hills, you have to ride the hills so you can learn what your body likes to do on hills. So if you're struggling on hills, that's a weakness. But a lot of riders tend to train their strengths. So you need to switch it. Don't train your strength. Don't ignore it. Maintain it, but train your weakness. You know. So, I mean, I can't give you specific workouts here. If you need that, that's a paid service. You can go to the website and sign up for our coaching or sign up for and buy one of the plans. We've got workouts that will get you stronger, you know. So. Amal Abdul Khalik. That is just a cool name. It's easy to pronounce. He said, thank you for the suggestion on handlebars from the last Q&A. You're welcome. Glad it worked for you. I remember, I think you already had perfect bars for your shoulder. TD Archer said, built his FTP from 225 to 318 over the last year. That's a big jump. I mean, you must have done a lot of work. That's a big jump in 1 year. Functional threshold power. But 318 is pretty good. You should be able to handle those hills. But you're never going to be the fastest up a hill if you're a big guy carrying a lot of weight against a good climber who's light and doesn't need the same watts per kilo. So what you do is you pace yourself, let them do their jumps, and then you catch them in the terrain that favors your body type. So let's see here. Ron Sowers. My front shifter stopped shifting into the large ring. Someone recommended spraying a penetrant like Blaster. The age of the shifter has nothing to do with it. If the shifter stops shifting, that means you need to get the bike maintained. The shifter needs to be adjusted. Your cable may be loose or your limit screws are off. You don't need to spray anything on it. I don't know where these people get this stuff. It doesn't just stop shifting. If it was shifting before and now it's not, it's telling you you have a problem that needs to be addressed. Spraying something on it is not going to fix it. You can spray it on it. It still won't get on the big chain ring. So if you can't do it yourself, take it to the bike shop, patronize them. So they're there for you. They'll get that sorted. It's not a big repair, but it needs to be repaired. Just like the current battery-powered electronic shifting. If you don't set it right or you don't charge it, let's say, I think Mo told me his goes 2 months and he needs to charge it. If you don't do that, it will stop shifting too. So the cable has changed position or weakened or loosened or stretched, whatever word they use. It needs TLC. That's normal on any bicycle. You know, and so a mechanic can fix that for you in no time. You don't need to spray anything on it. It's not sticking because of something gunking it up. It's sticking because the cable is not moving the cage where you need it to move. And so it needs to be adjusted properly by somebody who knows what they're doing so you don't have problems on the road. And it probably started a little bit where it was hesitating to get there and then it would get there. It happens over time. It's not overnight. Let's see here. Bad Vegan. Oh, Bad Vegan is telling us why he calls himself Bad Vegan. Because I went on the thing about bad weather. He said, Eldred, it's because of all the vegans in cycling. I say I'm vegan that eats meat. I'm a bad. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, that makes sense. It's a controversial name. I'm glad you explained it, but you can see why. I was just curious to know. And that's why I used the thing about the weather. And I'm glad that you took the time to post the explanation. I just don't like to call things bad. I don't like to throw negative on stuff, easily. It's kind of like try to look for the silver lining in every situation. Think about it this way. Like I told you guys one time about one of the guys we ride with. It was a cold day. It was maybe in the 40s Fahrenheit, 7, 8 C, relatively cold for us here. And we're out riding. It wasn't raining that day. It was a night. I said it was a beautiful day for a bike ride. Mark didn't agree. What is not beautiful about a day where you're healthy, you're doing what you love? I'm going to stop there. You're healthy, you're doing what you love. That's a bad day? I rest my case. So that's how I look at things, So just getting up healthy is a great day. That's just the way you got to look at it. And people lose sight of that. We get too wrapped up into running around. So TD Archer said, that's what I deal with constantly. Let's see here. I'm trying to get the context of what we're talking about. Yeah, his FTP, I ride about 150 miles a week. Okay. I guess you're dealing with lighter riders that jump around. Maybe that's what he means. Yeah, well, just hold your pace. You don't need to be the first up the hill, because on the flats or descending, the lighter riders will struggle. They don't have the mass. And people that are bigger, have more muscle mass, can handle flat riding easier. That for some reason, because you can generate more power, because you always have to generate more power to overcome the mass when you're going uphill. The lighter guys can't generate that power. They have to do a lot of work. They have to focus to be able to generate. That's why you look at guys like Froome, who are kind of like midweight per se. Quintana can't keep up with him in a time trial. He can generate more power. But Quintana may be able to attack up a mountain pass. But Froome, when he's riding those mountains, will hold a steady pace and eventually pull them back. He doesn't have to jump with them, because we react to it differently based on our body type. So get to know yourself. And that's the reason why I always tell people, I can't give you specific advice. I don't know you. So once I get to know the rider I'm coaching, then I tell them what kind of workouts will work for them. And know your terrain. Know when to attack. All the champions know that. All the champions knew when to attack, what terrain favored them. And then when other people attacked in the terrain that favored them, the champions would go steady. You watch Tom Dumoulin, some of the Grand Tours he's done in recent years. People will attack, and he would just hold a time trial pace and still be there at the summit. But he didn't kill himself and blow trying to keep up with that little guy who doesn't need to put out the big watts. So yeah, everybody's different. Know your body type. Evgeny Dimitrov. You're welcome, Evgeny. He said, I want to thank you for your wonderful advice. That's fine. I just be honest with people. I don't know. I'll be the first to tell you I don't know. I got to look it up. Yeah, Benny Yen talking about, he suggested because I'm a good bike fitter. Benny Yen had talked about wrong fits and all that. Yeah, Benny, it's been done many times over. You watch our group rides, it's in there. So yeah, I haven't made a specific video about that because it's not necessary. I point them out all the time. In fact, some of the subscribers on the channel will watch the video and will put a timestamp telling us this guy's fit look like it's off. So just from the video, the group ride videos, the guys on here now can spot a bad fit. So I don't know if you've caught up on the group ride video. We have them in a playlist. But yeah, we point it out all the time. The last one I just loaded, we're talking about it. The guy, Randy, that went off the front. His leg is completely locked at the bottom of the stroke. It's not supposed to be that way. You know, it just, you can't scrape. You can't generate that power with the big muscles in the back. So we point that out all the time. Richard Baylaw. I don't know what language he's I don't know if it lets you translate. Let's see here. Can you translate that? Nope. Yeah, it doesn't let you translate. Hello and my guy. I don't know what that means. Let's see what language that is. I'm curious. Copy. The cool thing is Google Translate works pretty well. I'm just curious to see what that is. Okay. And it actually detects the language. He says he's Hungarian. Okay. Well, welcome. Richard is from Hungary. TGR just says, and thanks for the Rafa reviews. You've made me spend money on those kids, and now I can't go back. Anyway, thanks for doing what you do. Yeah, I do what I do, like I say all the time, because of the people that support the channel. We've got people that go to Patreon and support the channel, so I've been able to invest more time doing this because it requires a lot of time. Rafa really should look into supporting this channel because we have sent a lot of people their way. The products are confusing, expensive, and have great quality. That's the way it is. They may be confusing, but it's not as confusing as even the Castelli. I've had trouble getting Castelli jerseys to fit me. And some of the shorts, they don't tell you, like Rafa will tell you, Pro Team Bibs short, meaning the length of the leg, and then Pro Team Bibs regular, or Pro Team Bibs long. You know, Castelli doesn't do that. You buy a short from Castelli, you try it on. It's in your size. It might stop mid-thigh. Look like you bought some little kid's short. And your money's already spent. I got tired of trying their stuff because they have not tried to make it clearer. And Rafa is going in that direction in clarifying things. So I have a better understanding of the Rafa products, and they just make good stuff. Somebody asked about, what's the name of this company? La Pasión PSN, I think on the channel comments, and said, you know, what do you think about the PSN stuff or whatever? I think it was under one of the Rafa reviews. And I just had to tell them, I said, sorry, but I had 2 PSN jerseys. I put stuff in the pocket, sags. I put the same stuff in the Rafa pocket, solid. So they're going to have to work on that. And it's just a PSN because I have some of their lightweight stuff, which is not PSN for the summer, and they held up fine. I put the same stuff in there. The pockets were good. So something about that material that they use for their PSN, they called them all-season jersey, but they're closer to like a midweight. It just was stretchier, and it just moved too much for my liking. You know, so they're not, you know, they try to imply, oh, the other guys charge more, like they're there. They're not at that level. They're at a level that they're good. They make good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but they should not be trying. You know, if you got a Lexus, don't compare it to a Ferrari. They're 2 different markets. That's my point. It's good that they're there, but don't compare it to those boys. They're at a different level. You know, Rafa has chosen to be more accessible to us by selling direct. I think a lot of the other guys need to do the same. We don't need to go to a bike shop to buy clothing nowadays. The advent of the internet and all of that. We don't need a middleman. We should be able to get our own stuff. So I'm really pro the manufacturers that just let you cut out the middleman, get your stuff directly from them. So you can pick what you want, and you know, and then the policies of Rafa, the returns, and I'm glad I got on that. I had told you guys here that I got a dark teal jersey, and I took the picture of it came with a cut on the sleeve, like almost like somebody nicked it with scissors. So I took pictures of it, sent them in their process. They review it. Oh yeah, send it for repair. They get it and then send me a note saying, sorry, at this time we can't repair it. Well, I bought the jersey at $100 off retail. I wasn't about to just send it back. I didn't want my money back. I wanted that discount. So I ended up calling them and letting the guy know because he wanted to know, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want the jersey that I tried to get that came with a cut because you shouldn't be shipping damaged stuff. You guys need to check your stuff. And I said, since it's not available, I want the money that would give me one if it were available. So to their credit, he gave me a voucher at full retail, even though I had paid, let's see, it was $190. I paid $90. You know, that's almost 50% off thereabouts. So he gave me the full retail. Then I said, well, there is no other jersey you have now that I want. I have plenty of your stuff. I don't need another jersey. I wanted that dark teal. Since you don't have it, what can I use this? And he said, oh, yes, it's just a voucher, which I thought was cool. I could use it to buy anything from Rafa. It didn't have to be a jersey. It was worth $190. Guess what? I bought the bib shorts, the protein bib shorts too, in black and black, because that's the one they never put on sale. So it cost me, I ended up saving, let's see, so I had to pay another $80 because $190 is off. The short is $270. So basically, I ended up buying their short that they sell for $270 for $100 off. So that, you know, they never put that black and black. The reason why is the black and black special? It goes with everything. It's simply not practical to keep buying Rafa with white letters or orange letters, and then, you know, I don't have the kind of money to be throwing at kid like that. So with black shorts, you can wear it with any color kit. It will go, and they know that. So they never put the black shorts on sale. So just do your homework. You know, find a manufacturer that's amenable. So one phone call, the guy sent me an email with the code. I pasted it in there and bought it. Didn't cost me any money sending it back. They ship all their stuff with a label for you to return it. So the whole exchange, just a little bit of my time. I didn't have to spend any extra money to get the stuff back to them. So keep that in mind. Some of the other guys, you know, they may not have that, but they still do provide repair for the life. If you crash with their stuff, they don't frown on it. You guys know how it is back in the day. You don't even want to tell the bike shop that you were racing because you're worried about the warranty. Rafa doesn't care. They want you to use it. You crash with it, they will look at it and see if they can repair it. If they can't repair it, they will give you 50% off the replacement because you damaged it. It was not the situation where, like I had, where it sent me a damaged product. I just wanted, so all those little things just make me lean towards them. When the other guys step up, yeah, I'll start looking at their stuff too. You know, let's see here. Yeah, Richard translator. Yeah, Richard, we found out. I typed it in Google and I got that you're Hungarian. Here's Robert. I'm going to go to one of our super legends here. Robert says, do you bake anything else besides banana bread to take on rides? At this time, I do the banana bread. And the reason I did that video, Robert, was because we buy bananas as a normal thing in the house. And it's really because of me, because the other family members don't deal with it that much. I'll put it on cereal sometimes, but eventually you get tired of eating bananas, and then they go bad before you can get to all of them. Go bad meaning to get too ripe. When they get overripe, they're kind of squishy. They're not very good to eat at that point. And so, but they're not bad for bread. In fact, the bread requires that you use what they call overripe bananas. And that's how I got into that. So yeah, that's the only thing I bake to carry on rides, but I don't only eat them on the rides. If I get up in the morning and I'm in a hurry, I don't want to fix eggs, I'll eat the banana bread. So when I bake them, it's a whole pan and I cut them up in little cubes because they're bite sizes when I take them on the ride. That you throw them in and you can keep riding. So I have so much of that and nobody else here likes it. So it's always available when I bake. And so yeah, that's the only thing I bake right now to carry for that very reason. Let's see here. Martin S. He says, I'm 54. He's a 54 male. He was out training on his bike. Around 40 miles, my heart rate spiked at 187. It could have been a problem with your heart rate belt, you know. So it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of hard to say because sometimes the belts don't work that way. It depends on what belt you have. I had those so-called premium belts a long time ago from Garmin. They cost more and it just was lousy. They lasted all of 3 months. So I used the standard belts now. They're more reliable. And sometimes, depending on where you're riding, if you're around a lot of interfering electrical current or other things, it can cause a spike. So unless you didn't physically feel your heart like it's jumping out of your chest, then I would put the mistake on the gadgets. He says recovery rate down to 100 of around 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think they may have spiked for the reasons I described. You know, because sometimes these things they act weird. You ever been on a ride where you start the ride, there's no heart rate reading? Especially if it's cold or something, I always put a little bit of moisture on it before I put it on because sometimes it doesn't make good contact. That's another reason they can spike. So just keep your eye on it. Mm. Philip McGlathery. He says, spot on, Eldred. Every day, God bless us to ride a great day. Exactly. Yeah. Not just for ride, just being healthy, do things you like, even if it's just lying around, watching the telly, reading a book, whatever. Just appreciate every day. I think people complain too much. Human beings are never satisfied. You know, think about it. Somebody doesn't have a car, you get them a car. The next thing they want a luxury car, and then something else. You know, like, what does it end? Be happy with what you have. Keep it simple. Carlos, I don't know if the last name is Shop Bauer. Yeah, I think I remember saying it here because his last name is like Steve Bauer. Cold weather. Yeah, he's in Montreal, riding my bike on the trainer. Yeah, I'm going to be on the trainer in a little while. It's about, let's see, 37 Fahrenheit here today. And I think that equates to probably about 7C or something like that. The sun has finally come out. It rained all night. And like I said, we had electrical surges and so forth. But, you know, the roads are dry now. The kind of rain we had last night, just kind of like you have in Seattle, just steady, nothing turbulent. We get a lot of turbulent rains because fronts come in. So that was pretty mild. But our weather is just up and down. The day before, we were at 20C yesterday. Then the weekend, you guys saw the video. It was cold, windy. And then Sunday morning after that ride, it was 31 Fahrenheit, which is like probably what, -1 Celsius. So every day is different. This is the reason I don't play with what I wear. You never get a chance to adjust per se. You know, if you lived in a cold climate and it's cold consistently or cool consistently, your body adapts, so your blood gets thicker, whatever happens to the human body. We don't get that luxury down here. It spikes. And that's when you could really pick up stuff if you don't dress properly. And Houston, people don't dress properly. Everybody dresses because they're in a car, because this is a car country. And you'll see them park their car and run into a store. You know, they're never equipped for the eventuality of that car breaking down and having to be out in the elements. You know, so I don't do that. I've lived in other places that were very cold. I lived in New York for a while. So I have the habit of always having an extra jacket or a blanket or something in the trunk of my car, especially this time of year, just in case. Let's see. Darren Benta says, great job with the video. I have been riding regularly to work for about 6 months, and I find your vids very informative. It's really cold in London, and love the Overshoes product review. Well, I'm glad you did. The Overshoes, I'm going to continue to use that because somebody came and put a comment and said that it may not last as long. Like when they got the same S7 over time, the outer coating kind of, I guess, cracked and peeled away, whatever happened, but apparently it wasn't that durable. So I'm going to see how long it lasts in that regard. And the reason why I believe what they said, that it is a coating, and, you know, everybody handles products differently, is because it makes sense. Because you wear those overshoes, your feet breathe. So that means it's not like you're wearing a plastic bag. So that inside it feels like fabric. And then that coating is on there. But I tell you, those shoes perform great. That's what we wore on Saturday, both Paul and I, in the wind. Because with the wind, it dropped the temperature even more. If you look at the video, you'll see it went from 7 to 4C during the ride. And the forecast had said the temperature would dip throughout the morning. So I look at all those things when I wear, and you need to do the same thing. It's not just for winter. In the summer, if you get up in the morning and it's going to be 20C, and within an hour it's going to get to 30C, that's going to be a very hot ride. So you have to dress accordingly. In the summer, we wear the lightest stuff. That's why you guys are seeing us grabbing flyweight deals off of Rafa right now. Because in the summer, about June, all I wear are flyweight, lightweight stuff. I can wear the regular bibs, which is fine, but it's really the jersey. And it's just no base layer, the lightest stuff. Then I wear my white helmet wherever possible, especially if we're riding later in the morning. But then we leave earlier than 7:30. I think they move it back maybe a half hour. We leave a little earlier because the days are longer. It's light because in the spring, they move the time 1 hour ahead. So now we have more time in the morning with the sunlight coming up earlier because they played with the time. So we leave earlier, so we ride in the cooler part of the day. So usually by 11:30, we're done. We're not out. The hottest time of the day around here is around maybe 1 to 5 in the afternoon. And then about 6 o'clock, the temperature dips because that's when people go out. If you're going to go out in the afternoon, it makes a difference. Don't go out in the heat of the day. Same thing on Sunday. What I did was it was freezing. It was 31 Fahrenheit at 7. Well, I had the time to ride. I was like, I'm not going out there. So things that I would normally do in the afternoon, I did it in the morning. And then by about 11 a.m., it got to like 41 or so Fahrenheit. And then I went out. But I still had to wear a lot of stuff because of the wind. But I was able to ride for more than 3 hours because I was dressed appropriately. I saw some other people who didn't realize it was that cold, that thought because of the sunshine and everything, it was warmer. And I'm sure they couldn't ride as long. They were wearing nothing on their knees. I cover my knees below 18C, which is like about 65 Fahrenheit. I cover my knees, unless it's a very warm 18C. You know, that's the reason, because I want to be out there longer. When you don't dress right, you can't stay out there as long as you'd like. Keep that in mind. Hey, Corey, one of our super legends, Corey Schultz, is checking in. He's at work. Well, Corey, I tell you what, we're on Stitcher now. I don't know if you wanted to Stitcher people, but you can listen to this afterwards, you know. So Bad Vegan said that was him asking about PSN. Yeah. The PSN colors are awesome. I bought the purple one, and then I got like a lime green. It's great. If you don't put too much in your pocket, it'll be fine. But I didn't find them to be an all year like they claimed, because it's a very warm fabric. I thought it was perfect for winter and to like late spring. It would be perfect for that. But you can't carry a whole lot because it starts sagging. I'm going to make a video in a few days to address some of the concerns. Some people, when I made the video about the saddlebag, some guy commented, oh, well, I didn't used to carry a saddlebag, but it's a good idea to have a bag. And I'm trying to get people to understand, you don't have to have a saddlebag. It's an option. You can put stuff in your jersey pockets. I replied to him and told him, some people carry stuff in a Ziploc bag. You don't have to, and just stick it in their pocket. A lot of riders we ride with don't have saddlebags. I don't like to have a saddlebag. I've made that clear. I'll only put it on that Colnago because it suits that extended setback seat post I have to have on that bike because the angle is almost 73 degrees. I just barely was able to fit that bike. Without that setback seat post, I wouldn't be able to fit that Colnago. And they don't make custom frames. I mean, it probably will be a ridiculous price if I tried to request one from them. But I just always wanted a Colnago. And so I was able to fit that, but I would not be able to fit it without that seat post. But because of that, you see the space behind it. So the bag fits perfectly there. It's not in the way. All my other bikes, I'm not putting any bags on them. I'll put my essential kit. So I'll make a video about what I carry in my essentials kit. But people have lost sight of the fact that I said essentials. You have to decide what is essential for you. And what I'm trying to get people to see is, on an absolute basis, other than your tubes and your tire levers, that's what you absolutely have to have. How often does your chain break? Not very frequently. You know, think about it. Even in a car, how often do you have multiple flats to where you would need to call a tow truck? So that's why people don't carry 4 spare tires. They carry 1. So you just have to look at the fact that if you're going to maintain your bike and you're going to check your tires and you're going to do a regular, you just need the minimal stuff. So a couple of tubes and a way to inflate it and to get it off your thing. You know, I made the comment about on the video, I said you need 1 tire iron. So somebody posts a comment that says, I don't know about the 1 tire iron. I always need 2 or whatever. And someone else said, oh, if you have a rim that is whatever, I guess, V shape, the deep dish, or if it's tubeless ready. So you see where I'm going with it. They're coming in with all these outliers that I had no intention of addressing in there. It wasn't a video about people that have tubeless. If you know you got tubeless tires, yeah, you know you need more, because that's why tubeless tires are a pain. You need more tire irons to get that sucker off. That video is not addressing tubeless tires, but they missed that. And then they come and put those comments instead of qualifying that. If you have tubeless tires, you need more. Well, the people who have tubeless tires already know. If you're going to spend extra money for something that gives you more headache, I expect you to know you need two levers or even 3. And what I did say in the video was, if you have wire beads, you will need 2. Yeah, you can. I said the reply. I said you can carry all the crap in the world you want, but it's a matter of what do you really need. So what this guy addressed, I said, you can carry more tire irons, but you really only need 1. How many do you really need? So it's kind of like people don't slow down enough to absorb what you're trying to give them, and they just want to leave a comment. Some of them will leave a comment just only after seeing the thumbnail of the video. I can tell they didn't watch the video. And those I just removed. They're useless. They don't add any value. If you're not going to spend the time to watch a video, don't comment about it. You're too busy. Move on. All right, let's see here. J. Dodd. I bought some spec sole shorts from Aliexpress for 20 pounds. A year on them, they're my favorite shirt. They have a long leg too. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. I've been to the AliExpress site, but most of their stuff are a bunch of knockoffs. And I don't believe in buying knockoffs. I might as well just get the real stuff and be done. So yeah, I don't know. But at least, hopefully, I haven't heard that brand name. At least they didn't call it something else. That's my issue with knockoffs. Give it your own name. Build your own brand. Don't ride off of somebody else's investment. I think that's just wrong. And it may not be the case for the shorts that you bought. So I'm glad they worked for you. Thief Von Thiefson, what is your opinion regarding the push on wider tires? It looks like 25 millimeter is rare and 28 is almost a norm. I don't know about 25 millimeter being rare. I think you got it backwards. 25 millimeter has become like the standard. But don't fall for that, because if you measure the actual tire once you air it up, a lot of them are like 26 and whatever. We're splitting hairs. The wider tires are faster and they're more comfortable, period. Proven scientifically. They don't flex. They don't bend as much as the narrower ones. So as a result, they roll better and you need less pressure. And so they're more comfortable. They're not bouncy. So yeah, I ride 25s and 28s, but when I measure them with my caliper, they're bigger. Because on my bike, I barely have enough room. I got maybe 2 to 3 millimeters. Any kind of debris that gets in there, I hear it on my brick caliper. But man, they're comfortable. I ride 28s on all the other bikes, and I have 23 in the front on the blue bike because they won't take a 25 because of the fork that I have. I will do a video about my blue bike. I made some changes to it on my seat post that just really streamlined it. I love the way it looks, and give you guys some ideas. The FSA seat post took it to a level that I really am pleased with. 25s, 28s are great. When I do get another bike from Kish, I will be asking him to accommodate a 32. So in the winter, I'll put 32 on there so I can do some gravel riding on gravel roads. Wider tires can tolerate sand and other stuff better than the narrower one. The narrower ones are like knives. They cut through sand. The wider tires spread out. So it's easier to ride gravel and other things. That's the reason I will do that. Just so he can, when he does the mock-up, he can give me the spacing I need to have larger tires. They're just better and more comfortable now that people know. And the guys that ride a lot are the ones that started that trend that made it newsworthy. The guys that are paid in the UCI peloton, all of them are riding bigger tires. I'm sure some of the smaller guys probably don't need it because they're lighter. But if you're more than 75 kgs, man, you need to be riding bigger tires. It just works better. It's kind of like the sports cars that have wide tires in the back and the smaller ones in the front. Same principle. Same principle. Oh, so Ron is letting us know that for his front shifter, it was the LBS that created the problem. That means you got a mechanic with a skills issue. That's the thing about bike shops. It's only as good as the person. Same thing I talk about bike fits, where people say, oh, I got a Ray tool fit. That's just a tool. Who's holding that tool? So yeah, that's ridiculous. You need to take it back there. You paid them for it. They need to correct it. or give you your money back. Chances are you had to wait. Whenever you take your bike to the shop, they don't turn it around right away. May have been in that case, but I'm saying you paid for the service and it didn't work, go back. Go back. That's a minor thing. There's no mechanic. He should have tested it right on the stand. That don't even make sense. That's too basic for you to have a problem with. What is he going to do when he overhauls your bottom bracket? Be creaking all around. Guys who ride with on their plastic frames, they have those press-in bottom brackets. All you hear, creak, 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 and they live with it. I look at Paul, I'm like, do they know? It's like I couldn't ride a bike that made noise all for 3 hours, 4 hours. My bikes are quiet. I hear a noise, it's a problem. It needs to be dealt with. So yeah, that's no excuse. They need to correct it. So this is G-Land. He said, bonsoir to le monde. Bonsoir is good evening. He's a Frenchman. That's funny. My 7-year-old, that's how she says good night to me. We play different languages. So those of you who don't speak French, he's saying good evening, everybody, to Le Monde. He's in the evening there. Because, yeah, 14. So it's like 2 something here. They're probably 6 hours ahead or 7 hours. It's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, something like that. And Paul replied, he said, salute. Paul speaks French too. Anthony Shaba, love the fact that these live Q&A are during my conference periods. Anyway, what is your opinion on the classic bibs versus pro team? I have a feeling I'm going to hop on the pro team train. Okay, that's a very good question. I've tried the classic bibs. I've ended up sending them back. I have what people tend to refer to as sprinter's thighs. I don't care for the phrase. It doesn't bother me, but that's just something people, what it means is I have big thighs. They're not thin and skinny per se. So let's say my buddy Paul is the exact opposite, but the protein works for both of us. So because of my thighs being kind of, because I that's just the way they are, I pull the shorts up. The classic bibs seem to be a lot tighter on me. And I didn't like the legs, how they grab my legs. They just seem smaller down at the bottom. That's why I send them back. The protein fits me better. They seem to be, the panels seem to be fuller. Kind of like when you have full jeans, full size. Same thing. If I go buy jeans, I have to buy the full cut jeans. So they fit me better. They don't look like what they call skinny jeans per se. Or stretchy jeans. That's the best way I can describe them. So you have to look at your body type. If you're more of the athletic, muscular type, there was a guy here who said he used to do bodybuilding, whatever, I would steer you towards the protein line. If you're more of a thin, regular shaped person, then yeah, the classic would probably work. And then the core is kind of like for everybody. The core, I had problems with the fit. The core was loose on me. It was loose on Paul. So yeah, that's why I just get the protein. Now I do get classic jerseys. The flyweight classic jerseys work. That's what's weird. I think they do it intentionally to confuse us because you can't have a closed mind. So if I had a closed mind, I would be missing out on some of the deals on those classic flyweight jerseys because the classic flyweight jerseys fit me great. They don't fit like the protein, but it still fit me great. So that's what's weird. So yeah. It's a never-ending story. The good thing about Rafa is you can try it. In fact, as I told you guys in the review, I don't remove the tag when I'm trying a line for the first time from them. I try it first. If it doesn't work, you put it in the thing. It doesn't cost you anything. They got a return label right there, and then you send it back. So yeah, classic jersey fit me. Classic shorts don't fit me as well. I can get them on, but they grab my legs too much at the bottom. Kind of like the silicone. Grab my leg too much. I don't like that. The protein, they just sit on your leg. I don't know what material they're using. It's different. So the protein, and I guess that's why they call it protein. It's almost like the top of the line stuff. They do it a little differently. Not that the classic is any less, but even the pricing is a little kind of like in between. You got cord and classic and protein. So yeah, I like protein because they work for my body type generally, but I still buy classic flyweight jerseys because they also fit me really well. So now I've identified that. So now that's what I look at. I don't buy their classic, what they call classic 2 jerseys, the merino wool stuff. They're a little looser than I like them to be. But I do have some of their limited edition specials, and I've learned that the same size will work for me. If you notice on the brevet jersey, I have to pull those cinches on the side when I load the pockets, because down here it's always kind of big. And they know that, so they put that cinch that you can pull and grab the jersey in. See, with the Pro Team line, you don't have to do that. They come cut with a V. Like the training jersey I just did. It comes almost like, and they claimed it was looser than the Aero. So the Pro Team line, I don't have to worry about the V because my body is like this. So I got the shoulders, then they come in. And so with Pro Team, I don't have to worry about that, about having a cinch. That's the biggest thing. And then the classic flyweight is cut well enough to where it works for me too. So hit or miss, you just got to try them, So just go by what kind of body type you have, and they tell you in the write-up that this fits race fit. This is looser. That kind of gives you a little tip. Okay. Oh, I think I missed DJ Tony up here. You got 2. DJ Tony, if you're going to be posting 2 questions, you need to do a super chat. You don't get 2 questions at once. So I will answer one of your questions. He says, Elder, do you think disc brakes have a considerable drag for racing or speed work on normal to dry terrain? No idea. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it matters. I don't believe that there's any significance to the kind of braking you have. I think there's too much effort spent on brakes. We need to spend more effort on going fast. That's what I train for. I never had trouble stopping my bike, so I don't pay much attention to brakes. When I'm ready to buy a bike, I'm going to buy the bike that has the best price / components at that time that I'm buying. I could care less about what they're trying to push. I will buy what's going to work for me, what's easy to work on, what's practical, what's manageable. And if they haven't gotten the discs to the point where they look good, they work well, they don't have wires sticking all over my bike, if I'm going to be paying more for something, it needs to have the aesthetics. I don't want it to look like somebody sat in their garage and used twist ties to run something down the fork. So they need to clean it up. When they clean it up, I've seen some of the pro bikes. They look clean. Those wires, you don't see any wires. But I bet you if you try to buy one of those at the pros ride, it'll be 20 grand. I'm not paying $20,000 for a bicycle. It's a bicycle. It shouldn't be costing that much. It's just ridiculous. They're just making up money and people lining up. I'm not going to do that. No, it's not going to happen. My blue frame cost me all of $2,000 for the frame. And then I sourced my own components and built it up. And it's fine. So $15,000, $20,000, they're getting out of hand. They're getting too ridiculous. So they need to knock it off. So let's see here. So Marky Blaze just made a comment that I'm going to read. Those of you who are reading the text that I 100% agree with. He says, if the knockoffs are so good, why doesn't the company that's making the knockoff, make their own brand and destroy the market? And he says, LOL, hint, because it's junk. Like the wheel I told you about where somebody painted dimples on a plastic carbon wheel and then wrote zip. They made it look like, I mean, you could tell it was a copy. And we had a guy, Mustard, that bought them. And every time he used the wheel, he'll ride 1, 2, 3, twang. That's what we're hearing, like a metallic twang from the spoke, like the spoke was exploding. Nothing was happening. It was just making that noise. He spent $400 on those wheels and lived with that crap. Even if it were free, I wouldn't put it on my bike. But let alone spend good money on that. Because $400 is $400. Sheesh, you could have gone on eBay and bought the real thing. Why buy the copy if you can have the real thing? Even if you buy it used, there's a reason they don't paint the dimples on a real zip wheel. It's part of the wheel. That gives you the aerodynamics and whatever else that research indicated. Someone painted it on there and called it zip, and he bought it. I'm like, man, that's just, I I just think it's wrong. You're copying somebody else's intellectual property and then saying it's yours. You know, I'm like, you're selling it as zip when it's not. And a lot of times you can't even get them shipped to the US anymore from that AliExpress site. It's like they're blocking the ability for you to buy that and have it shipped here. And I think they should. That stuff, some of that stuff might be dangerous. This is the same guy who was riding with us and his pedal axle snapped. Now, I've been riding for a long time. I told Paul, I said, I've never seen that happen. He fell, had a crash hard right next to me one morning, hard on concrete. Ended his ride. He didn't break anything or anything, but then he had the nerve to say, oh, that's what that noise was. That's what that noise was. That means he's been riding the bike, hearing the noise, and ignored it until the morning. The pedal axle that goes into the crank arm just snapped. And I looked at it, and the metal was gray. It didn't even look like steel. So I don't know what he had on there, but this is the same guy who was riding the knockoffs. So I believe those pedals were knockoffs. Almost killed himself. You know? So don't do it. It's not worth it. Get the real stuff. There's a reason. Those people, they test them. You know, it's like you know, it's bad enough people can get injured. We have a guy named Dan that rides with Team RR. We just found out, not this Saturday, the Saturday before, that Paul and I had to leave them because they were waiting too much, and we rode home. 1 mile from home, the word is he hit a curb in the woodlands and crashed. He said he was looking behind to change lanes and I guess misjudged something, hit the curb. He was riding solo. The group had dispersed at that time. Everybody's going home. Broke his ribs in 2 places and broke a collarbone. And he was on pneumonia watch because he could only breathe shallow or whatever. He's back home now. I think Thursday he did an update. But the point I'm trying to make is you have enough trouble with things that can happen. So don't add to it by getting inferior stuff on your bicycle. You know, because when you're moving at, say, 30 kilometers an hour or whatever, you're moving. The body's moving. And you don't need to be doing 40 miles an hour to hurt yourself. I've made the thing about football players that would tackle somebody and then all of a sudden something dislocated just by hitting the ground or whatever. Imagine you're hitting the ground at speed. So the speed's still there. The body's still in motion. So it's dangerous enough just by itself. Don't add to it by thinking you're saving money. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So yeah, buy the good stuff that's proven and stay with it. I'm a big guy. I want strong stuff. I don't care about the weight. I want it to be strong. And the funny thing about it is, the better the components, you'll get good quality stuff that doesn't weigh a whole lot. They're not unnecessarily heavy. They're not using standard tubing anymore. All the tubing's butted when you buy metal bikes or whatever, if you know what I mean. So when you start buying the quality stuff anyway, you're getting the good stuff and you're getting the weight. It's supposed to weigh something. If you had a very lightweight bike last Saturday, you were going to get blown all over the place. I called Nago was like a rock. I was telling Paul, that wind would blow. I was just leaning into the wind because it was blowing my body. That bike was stable. So yeah, I enjoyed having it there. So that's going to be my windy day bike from now on. That bad boy is like a rock with those steel forks. It was solid. So yeah, buy the good stuff. Oh man. Okay, thieves. Yeah, I'm glad I cleared that up for you. I think he's talking about the Rafa Classic stuff. Yeah, just check them out. They're all good. But what I like about Rafa is that they're trying to accommodate all the body types. And if you take the time when you go there and you read and you look at their fit, they give you enough information to give you an idea of what they're catering to in each line. That's where I learned. I learned from reading their stuff and then trying it. They don't have everything there. Some of it you got to experience for yourself. But they're trying to cater because some people prefer a looser fitting jersey. Rightfully so. Everybody has a preference. You can't just make something one way, you know? So I like for stuff to fit me tight so when I'm in the wind, they don't blow around, or I like to load up my pockets. That's the way we used to do our jerseys when we raced. We wanted them tight because we would put a lot of crap in the pocket. Because you start a race, it's cool in the morning, and then it warms up. You got to take off stuff, otherwise your body can overheat. And we need to load up those pockets to where they're not moving when you're riding. You guys saw the video a few weeks ago. I put a big the same vest I wore, a gilet. I folded it up, put it in the jersey pocket, but because the jersey was tight, it wasn't moving around. It's a big, big gilet to carry in that little pocket. So you got to really think about how you use stuff and how you want it to feel on you. I've seen riders that have looser jerseys and they load their pockets, it moves. It can't be comfortable to have that thing moving around on you. You can lose stuff, the contents of your pockets also. So yeah. Tom Nix. Hello, Tom. He's from Austria. Jeffrey Davis, welcome. One of our super legends. Welcome to the channel. So El Chikungur, he says, what do you think about handlebar tape? Do you prefer it thin? Yes. You don't need padding on the handlebars. If you do, that means something wrong with your fit. I like to feel the bars. And chances are even if you're not wearing gloves, I use leather tape. I use the Brooks leather tape since you asked. It's about 55 US if you find a good price, somewhere maybe up to 70 US. But here's the way I look at it. I've had them on my bikes and it's been years. You can unwrap them and reuse them. Yeah, they last long enough to where it's worth the money. But then I get the black ones because it's low maintenance, and I wipe them with a damp rag periodically. It's just leather. But other than that, I don't do anything with them. I like the way you feel the bike. And they age, leather, they age really well. So yeah, just the Brooks tape is really good. So yeah. And it's not the only one. They have other tapes there, like they'll tell you a 2.5 millimeter or whatever. You want to feel the bar. If the bar is set up correctly, you shouldn't need padding. Anytime you're looking for padding, you're trying to solve a problem with the wrong solution. You don't need padding. The saddle doesn't need to be padded. Like those gel saddle, all that. You don't need all of that. You don't need a gel saddle. You need a fit. If you're looking for a gel saddle. All right. Let's see. Bad Vegan. He's talking about. Yeah, Amal Abdul Khalik saying that he bought some fake Oakleys. It's funny. They have so much fake stuff out there. The guys in Australia, I don't know if everybody does it in Australia, but I know that, what's his name? Cycling Maven, which I don't think is cool, and he puts it on his channel. So I used to watch some of his videos before I started this channel. He calls them Folkleys. It's like fake Oakleys that take the F and then Oakleys, Folkleys. And he wears them. He's done some stuff where in the video he's talking about them, and he actually did a review on some of the glasses. They look just like the original and whatever, but that just sends the wrong message. We shouldn't be encouraging, because that country does not enforce intellectual property rights, that people can just copy other people's stuff, and badge it accordingly, and say they're Oakleys when they're not. So we can't order them here in the U.S. Which I think that's cool. Somebody put up here, you want Oakleys, buy Oakleys. If they make something else, let them put their own brand on it. But no, they're taking someone's ideas. And here's the thing that I don't like about it. On the iPhone, in the iPhone market, do you know that Samsung was a contractor for Apple when Apple started the iPhone? They were contracted to take the plans and the designs and build the iPhone in China. And Apple will sell their phone. And do you know that Samsung, as a contractor, copied the plans that their customer gave them and made their first phones off of that copy? And for many years, they were banned from selling it in the UK, other places. So my thing was, I told you, I don't know, those of you who I've told about my experience with the Samsung watcher, I don't have a lot of respect for a company that would do that. I think it's kind of low to copy the plans of your customer that you were making the thing for as a subcontractor, then call it your own. And your customer had to sue you. And then for years, the courts in the UK and other places banned you from selling those products. So I, for one, will buy nothing with Samsung on it. That's just too low. Make your own stuff. Don't copy somebody else's creation. Go create your own, because we all benefit from it if you do, because then we might get phones that work a little differently than you just replicating what the iPhone does. you know. And I just thought that was just kind of low. So I don't have anything in my house that has Samsung. The refrigerator is the last one. When we get rid of that, I'll put it in the backyard and beat the crap out of it with a baseball bat. Yeah, what they did was wrong. Apple spent a lot of time getting them banned from selling the phone, and they were lying that they didn't copy. It looked just like the 3G at that time. That was what they had copied. You know, that's how that relationship ended. I thought that's pretty tacky. A company that has no honor. So no, maybe I'm just living in my own little utopia, but I don't support Samsung on anything. Let's see here. Bad Vegan says new Pro Team Aero jersey feels lighter than the year before. Does the fit break in the new Pro Team Aero jersey? I don't have the new one per se. I have the old one and it's fine. I don't know if it feels lighter or doesn't. They make good changes. I mean, I have a bunch of the Aero jersey in different colors, and I really like the ones that I got. I got one with a purple up here that fades into, I think pink fades into some kind of purple. It's really unique. I love that. I made a video about that a long time ago. I don't try all their stuff. What I do is I look at what's in my wardrobe that is long in the tooth, on the fence for, just aging or whatever that I might need to replace. And I keep a list. And if they go on sale, I grab the latest one, because they're always changing stuff. They have a jersey that they made for their new EF team. It's a black, they call it limited edition. It's already sold out at regular price, never on sale. But it was beautiful because black jersey and the letters on it were almost like faded. It looked almost like they were stamped in the jersey, not painted, if you know what I mean. Just very subtle. And that's the jersey that EF will race in Australia and New Zealand. Whenever they race that, they will wear black. So they made a limited edition. Everything's sold out. The only things left is extra small. It's like $190 or something like that. But it's just a cool looking Aero jersey. And I love the way they did the lettering. You have to be up on it to see it. Just very subdued. Really cool. So they got some nice stuff. The training jersey for the EF team, I like what they did also. The training jersey just have a little EF here to the Rafa. I think the Rafa is on the left. I'm not sure which side. But you got two little things on it. Rest of the jersey looks like protein. They got nice little patches on the back of the neck. So if you're not in the know, you're not going to even know it's a team jersey. I thought, wow, that's really cool. But yeah, but it's at retail. I got tons of jersey. I'm not buying it at retail. If they put it on sale, I'll grab a copy. That's the way I think. I don't need a jersey. It's not a need. I have enough, more than enough. So why would I buy it at retail? So they're selling it for $115. It's a training jersey like the one I reviewed, but in the EF color, navy blue, nice little pink emblem, just nice, subtle. EF is on there. If you don't know much about an EF team, even if you're in cycling and you know about EF, you got to look real closer to see that as an EF jersey. That's the kind of stuff that I gravitate towards. Things that people that are in the know will appreciate, and the people who don't pay attention to details will just see a jersey. I like that. I don't like gaudy, flashy stuff to grab people's attention. No, I want the people who pay attention to detail to get it. The rest of the people, yeah, it just needs to be a jersey. The new training jersey for the EF team, that's on my list. I'm just letting you guys know. It's nice. It's sitting there at $115. So hopefully they'll put it on sale for $65 maybe next year. I don't care how long it takes. It's not a need. Razvan Popa, how you doing? You just showed up on here. Let's see. New protein and travel greetings, everyone. Martin S said the rule of thumb is 220 minus your age. I'm not sure what rule of thumb that is. That's a myth. And nobody does 220 minus your age. It doesn't work for anybody. It never did. They need to go back and delete them out of the folklore. I think he's talking about heart rate. Maximum heart rate. We don't train to maximum heart rate nowadays. The technology's out. We train to functional threshold heart rate. Let's see here. El Chikangua said, cutting weight where there is no really climbing. I'm not sure what that means. So Barton says, double check my heart rate on another unit. Still get a spike 180 plus most ride. I'm fit and healthy. If you're not having any problems, I guess that's just what your body does. I mean, you might want to maybe get a stress test done at the doctor's office to make sure. And stop focusing on maximum heart rate. 220 minus age is garbage. That's folklore. So get a stress test, and then you need a functional threshold test to find what your red line is. And then that's how you derive your training zones from that. If you're feeling like uncomfortable or it hurts when your heart rate spikes, yeah, we'll get that checked out. But if it's happening all the time and it's not bothering you, it may not be an issue. But just to be on the safe side, get an EKG test at a doctor's office. They have a lot of sports doctors that can do that for you, so you're sure what's going on with you. Get to know your heart. You know, that's the reason why I like for people to use heart rate monitors, so they know what's going on with them, because it can let you know if there's a problem. Your heart rate will let you know when you're tired. When you can't get your heart rate up, you need to take an easy ride that day. That's what I use that for, to kind of gauge, because your legs can feel okay, but if you can't drive your heart rate and you just generally have a feeling of tiredness, that's your body's way of telling you you're tired based on whatever else may have been going on, not just training, just life in general. Yeah. But get that done. And then if you're really serious about improving, sign up for, get one of our, maybe do our coaching program. We'll get you a threshold test done and get your numbers and get you a training program. That's how you improve. You know, my buddy Paul, in 3 months, we're in a breakaway. If he had just been riding around, there's no way he would have been able to break away from UMC in 3 months. When you're just riding around hoping to get in shape, it takes you longer because you miss. There's no specific stuff. That's the reason why people even go and invest in a power meter, because they've been training now to say, okay, I want to make sure that I'm going to use these 2 hours to drive these watts. They want to be very specific and use their time. Time is precious. You can't just be riding around hoping to improve. You got to have a focus and a goal. You know, that's why we say on here, we don't ride, we train. You know, when I get on my trainer tonight, I'm not doing anything, no heart rate monitor, nothing. I'm just going to spin to keep my legs loose because I've already done the work, you know. And so it's like you have to have a day where you just ride. You're not thinking about anything. Then you have to have a day where you focus. That's not the day where you want to hook up with somebody who just shows up on a ride. Tell them, sorry, I'm doing something specific. See you later. We can talk another time. I do 1 group ride a week. Rest of the time I train by myself because I have specific things I'm working on. I don't need distractions. Not every ride is social. So let's see here. The city that never sleeps, Mike G, New York City. Yeah, I've been to that city. I wasn't impressed. It's too crowded. Let's see. Thief Von Thiefson said, I like riding in cotton t-shirt and shorts and still overhauling, I guess, corridors. I'm not sure what that is. T-shirt, cotton t-shirt. I don't know. If it was hot, it would get wet on you. When you ride alone, do you listen to music when you ride your bike? Nope. When I ride my bike, I'm riding my bike. When I want to listen to music, I relax in my house and I turn on the music. Nope. I ride my bike. I listen to the birds and everything else that's outside. I want to enjoy the outside. The music is an intrusion. I want to hear nature. Yeah, you don't need all that. When I'm riding my bike, I'm listening to what my body's doing, how I'm feeling, and all the other things that are out there. I always mess with the animals, like the squirrels. You know, Paul and I be riding. Hey, Mr. Squirrel, don't make that move. You know, the squirrels come to the edge of the road like they want to cross. And I've never seen a squirrel go across the road continually. They'll go, stop. You know, I'm like, hey, don't do that. And they'll stop and they'll go back or something like that. But it's kind of like I just like to be outside with the outside. I feel that the music is an intrusion. So I listen to music when I'm inside doing other things and it's really background, if I'm in the kitchen or something. A lot of times I'm in the kitchen, I put YouTube on the channel we have an open plan to where the kitchen flows into the family room. I'll put YouTube on the channel, run one of my videos, and start cooking. It's just background, and I focus on that. But once I'm on my bike, I'm riding. I'm with the outside. I'm listening to those cars that are passing. You know, there's enough going on. I don't need anything else. I need my ears to hear those guys, the other road users, because some of them do really dumb things. You know, so let's see here. 130. Let me check my super legends here. Okay, cool. I don't see Christopher Roxbury here. I think, was he here? I guess he missed us today. I thought I saw him. Yeah, he's here. Okay, yeah, cool. Want to make sure. Yeah. So Chris won a beautiful jersey, is on the way. Bad Vegan, any thoughts on how to improve when your performance plateaus? How do you break into another level when it feels like you hit a ceiling? Yeah, you need structure, Bad Vegan. That's why you've hit a ceiling. You're doing the same thing all the time. You don't have enough rest factored in to your riding. So you do the same thing all the time. You're going not so hard all the time. So you're just right here. You know, when you should be resting, you're still there. So you're tired, but you're still there. So that's what happens. You've plateaued because you don't have enough downtime versus your uptime. So you need structure if you want to continually improve. And you need to be careful with that you don't get burned out. You know, what they call overtraining. Because at some point you just get sick of doing the same thing all the time. Every ride should be different. The human body needs rest so that it can work. So if you never rest enough, then your work won't be very good. So you'll be one of these guys that when we really heat up the pace, you get dropped because you've never tasted that zone, that top level. That's what I'm talking about. So you need structure. You need a training plan. You know, so I don't know where you are. If you're in California or one of those warm places where you ride all the time, it's easy to fall into that. So you really need a training plan built around what you're already doing. And so then you can go. He said, man, it's scary how accurate you are. Accurate about what? Meaning what? You're tired or you're doing the same ride? I don't know which one, but go to our website and let's see what would be the easiest thing for you. I don't know where you are. I don't know what kind of training you've been doing. So I don't know if you need base. You really need some kind of coaching. If you have goals you want to achieve, go to veloharmony.com, look under the cycling services, look at our training plan. There's a questionnaire you fill out when you sign up. I got a bunch of people that are like you that live in warm weather places and they ride all the time and they just weren't getting any better. And that's what happened. So once we find out what you're doing, we'll start out with giving you macro cycles so that you have downtime, you know, and then you have the right prescribed. So basically there are times you go very hard and times you go very easy as opposed to just middle of the way stuff. No. I was telling Paul, my buddy, what was it last, I think was it Sunday? I caught some cars in one of the areas in the neighborhood. I always tell you guys that when you're going fast in the videos, you shouldn't look like you're going fast. And the drivers, they can't tell when we're going fast. I mean, they kind of see you, but you look. We have a place where we get a bottleneck coming to a turn circle where it goes from 2 lanes. This lane on the left merges to the right lane. And then we have a shoulder before you get there. So I always get in the right lane long before the shoulder ends at a curb. And there were 2 cars that were in the bottleneck. So I was third. And there were 2 other cars behind. There was enough of a gap. So I put my hand out to let them know I was coming. I pointed that I was coming onto the road. So I get onto the road and they backed off. And I got onto the road and got over to where the left lane is merging because I didn't want them to squeeze by me. If you don't get far over enough, they're going to squeeze by your elbow. So I took up the whole middle of the road. And then they started to back off. And I was telling Paul, I caught the cars, the two cars that were in front. I don't know what they were doing. They entered the turn circle, and then you go left. It's kind of a tight turn, so maybe they had to slow down. But I rode up to those cars, probably about 46 kilometers an hour. I wasn't looking at the speed. I just did a turn and just rode up to them. I was on the, I guess it was the blue bike. But it surprised me because I guess all the riding we've been doing. It didn't feel very hard or anything. It wasn't very windy or anything. But I caught up to them, and here I am in traffic. And then I look behind, and I could see this driver just looking at me like, what the, I'm sitting in there. We're going through the turn circle. I'm the third vehicle behind those two guys. So the whole time we're going, and then I looked down the speedometer. I saw like 42 kilometers. I don't know why they were going that. We're just slow. I mean, the speed limit is like 30, which is what? 50 kilometers an hour, thereabouts. But when they went through that circle, but basically the drivers behind me were blown away that I could ride up to two vehicles, stay with the traffic. So they stayed behind me the whole way because I used up the whole road. Because if you don't do that, they'll skim by your elbow and just roll. But the thing is I could do that because even though we rode Saturday with those guys, you guys saw it. Most of the ride, it wasn't really very hard because we were trying to accommodate keeping the group together and so forth and so on. But we've done so much more work. Now, when it's time to really go, you don't even think about it. You just go. Your body just responds. And it was like I didn't move or anything. Didn't shift gears. Just turned faster. And I was telling Paul about it because it surprised me that I rode up because I had something to reference, meaning the other cars. I rode up behind them, and so the guy behind me. And then right after the turn circle, I turned left. There's a little shortcut here, and I take the chat. It's a quieter road. And I turned left. And then as they came by, they didn't just go by. They came by and slowed down in the right lane. I'm in the left lane. He wanted to know my speed. I could tell. He just slowed down right by me. And then they moved on as I turned left. A lot of them are blown away because they think bicycles are toys. That's the point I'm trying to make. And what they don't understand is in a lot of places in the world, bicycles are not treated like toys. They're for transportation. It's just in the West, you give them to the kids and they ride around the neighborhood and they think that's what it's for. No, a bicycle is a vehicle. And so when ridden correctly, you can cover some ground. That's why we have to carry patch kits and all of that. You can get far away from home, So yeah, remember that. Your bike is not a toy, but you shouldn't be paying 20 grand for it. It doesn't come with an engine. So, for 20 grand, you should get an engine. Okay, let's see here. Do you know when the next raffle sale will be on? Got some vouchers. You got some vouchers at the ready. You need to sign up, Charlie. Get a free account. If you've bought anything from them, you should already have one. If you haven't, you can sign up for a free account. They'll send you an email. They have a sale every time the season changes, but they always have what is called an archive sale. You can go there for the older stuff. The only risk is whatever's left, sizes, what the sizes are left. So yeah, just sign up. You get on their mailing list. It's free. That's the best way to do it. Because a lot of times I don't know. Sometimes Paul would send me a text. Hey man, I saw this, and I'll do the same. A lot of times I don't like to bug him because a lot of times, you end up tempting people. So, sometimes I hesitate unless I know it's something he's watching out for. Maciel Max says reality check. Bad vegan, almost all of it. Haha. I'm in he's in Southern California. Okay. Bad vegan. Yeah, it's easy. I'm in Houston, Texas. We got people in Florida. All the warm weather guys, we're at risk for overtraining. We ride hard too long, all year long. You show up for these rides, they're hammering, even though it may not be the traditional racing season. December in California, you can't tell the difference most of the time. So you guys are just hammering all year. You can't do that. You got to rest. You got to have an off season. And bad vegan, I'm going to guarantee you the top guys in your area are not hammering at those rides. You probably don't see them. And if they do, they're just sitting in the back, sucking wheel just for the company. Or they're not showing up at all. because the top guys don't do that all year. The human body needs rest. So be careful about that. All right, let's see here. One does not know all in life or in cycling. What do you have to learn or to improve in life or in cycling? Man, that's like a philosophical question. Let's see here. What do you have to learn or improve in life or in cycling? Well, I guess cycling is like a microcosm of life. You really want to just kind of pay more attention to details. That's the best way I can put it. It's all in the details. So like when Sky says marginal gains and stuff like that, that's what they're paying. It's the little things that make the biggest differences. For example, you can have an okay fit and be within maybe a centimeter of where you should be. But that one extra centimeter can be the difference between your ability to deliver full power comfortably or not. It's not the big changes when you do a fit that makes the difference. Those little changes, when your hands get numb, it doesn't mean your fit is way off, but it's off enough. So pay attention to details in life and you will get there. It's the people who are rushing through, skipping through things. Instead of reading the chapter, they skip through the chapter. That's why I always make the comment. Both of you can sit in the class. One person makes A, one person doesn't. The person who skims the chapter is missing out. The multitasking, as overrated as it is, people who are multitasking are missing out. The human brain needs focus. So you have to decide what is important for that moment. Life's full of moments. Invest that time. You know, just like when I'm doing this is what I'm doing now. Then when I'm done, it's done. Then I move on and go hang out with my girls. And then later this evening, I'll hang out with my wife. You know, because if I don't do that, then I miss out. You got to have balance. You got to break it up. You know, you got to break it up. So yeah, pay attention to the details in life and do the same thing in everything you do, and you will be ahead. Abel is watching. Still that problem, but no problem. Okay, we have a guy named Abel Bajay who is one of our. I'm just looking at the text he sent. He's having some problem with the channel. He said, but no problem. Abel's not able to chat like you guys are. I think the message he gets is that he needs to set up a channel so he can see us. He just can't chat, and he's a super legend. So that kind of bugs me because this is his, you know, he's making this happen. He's one of the people that's making this happen. So I suggested to him that he send something to the YouTube support because I don't know what he needs to turn on. The message he's getting is saying that he needs to have a channel to be able to chat. Where a channel in essence is your YouTube account. Anybody can open a channel. It's a YouTube account. So there must be something he needs to enable to be able to chat. I don't really know why he can't chat, because all of us here can. So if any of you know, just pop it on there. I will go ahead and send it because he sent me a text because he can't chat. And Abel's one of the guys that in our coaching program, he's in Norway, that did the Etape de Tour, where we're prepared and he successfully accomplished that. So anybody that knows, you know, feel free, send the message to out@veloharmony.com so I can forward it to him so he can find out why he can't chat on here. Because all you need is a regular YouTube account. He's a subscriber. You don't have to be a subscriber to chat. I mean, we see all these guys coming up here putting nonsense on here that we have to block. So I don't know why he can't chat. I don't know, Abel, are you using, I know he's listening. He said he's watching. Maybe try watching on Google Chrome if you're not. I don't know if that will make a difference. I don't think the browser makes a difference, but you should be able to chat. There we go. He just sent me a picture. Create channel to join it. What? Click on that. Where it says create channel to join the chat, Abel. He just sent me a picture It looks like he's on a mobile device. Yeah, okay. So he's doing some. Well, click on that create channel and see what it wants you to do. Maybe it's that app that's asking you. I think he's using an app because it's different. The layout is different than mine. He's got like the text below the picture. So probably some of you are familiar with that layout. Yeah, Abel, go ahead and click on that create the channel thing and see where it guides you through. Maybe the app requires you to do an additional setup. That the limitation is the app. If you were in a browser, it wouldn't give you that. Paul is online here, John. Paul cannot be here all the time. We all have jobs and other things that we're doing, so it's not going to be. It's not. He can't be here. He's logged in just like you, so you can chat with him. He's there. He's asking for Paul. Let's see here. Let's see. El Chikungur, what you'll have to do is, I can't help you with the setup of your brake levers. What you need to do is sign up for our remote fit on the website, and then I will be able to help you because I'll know what you're trying to do and where you are. I can't give you anything useful on this chat. Yeah, so yeah, Abel, try that. Click on that button and let it, because it said all messages you send will appear. I think that app requires that you sign up, that you do something additional on there before it will let you chat. Yeah, I think he's using I'm glad you sent the text, Abel. Yeah. Let me ask him what app he's using. I don't know if any of you are using an app. Because it's different than my layout. The picture's at the top, then he's got like a little X that says live chat, top chat. I don't know if that's the YouTube app. So maybe you're not logged in, Abel. That could be it. Maybe create a channel is another way of logging in. So go ahead and try going through that. Click on that thing and see where it takes you. And that way you'll be able to log in. Because your login is your channel. I don't know why they're doing that. Ah, now it's working. There he is. See that? There he is. Cool. That's our super legend. One of our I shouldn't say, well, what's the word I want to use? I wouldn't say oldest. One of our longest tenured super legends, Abel Bajay. Abel did the Le Tour de Itape last year. That's a beautiful medal they gave him. I was like, man, that's kind of cool. Well, good. Now it's working. All right, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's probably all you needed to do. Yeah, I'm glad you sent the picture. But yeah, that's cool. Great. Yeah, because it's like you're already in there. I'm glad you chose to send the thing here, Abel, because now Abel's one of the people in our Lioness group on. And Abel, also, I'm glad that you're here. You need to go ahead and put your address in Patreon. And I did this stuff, but then some people like Ronald Davis in Afghanistan sent the address in a message. I can't put it in there. I don't have access to your account. And that's how I kind of told those two guys. You need to add your address, Abel, because we're having drawings every month to give you guys some rewards for supporting the channel. And the program is looking for those who are active and have a shipping address. And so go into Patreon in your account and update your address. So it's in there. And that way you'll be picked up by the program. I've never owned. John Marino wants to know what would I consider a folding bike for local trips, shopping, etc. It would depend on how well I can get it to fit me. Because whenever I'm on a bike, I like it to fit. Yeah, I guess I can see the convenience. But really what I plan to do is get like when I get a gravel bike in the future with the bigger tires, that's what I'm going to use for local stuff too. But I know what you mean. Yes, I would consider they're good. People travel with them all the time. They're easy, they're portable. Yeah. Just get it to fit you and it'll be good. They're very practical. I've looked at them over the years, but yes, that would work. Because we don't, a lot of trips around here that I do, less than 2 miles, like I drop off my girls around the corner. I mean, not very far. The store is not far. A lot of the stuff I do regionally, you could use a bike for that. It's just fun. You kind of get out and just stretch your legs a little bit. So it's very practical, depending on where you live. There are a lot of cities that are tight. You definitely can use a bike. Yeah, that would work. That would work. There's John said Bike Friday does custom folders. Bike Friday, I've never heard of them. Is that a company? Let's see. If I were to get a bike for commuting, I would want something where I could carry a lot of stuff, like a cargo bike. Oh, here we go. Made in USA. Okay. I see what you mean. Handmade folding bikes. Yeah, that looks cool. Got panniers on one of them. Yeah. Yeah, I would consider that. A folding bike's pretty cool. I already have 3 bikes that I use for regular riding. It'd be nice to have something that's for running around. Yeah. Yeah, I got a pretty good site here. Touring bikes, city bikes, road bikes, tandem bikes. They have e-bikes. About Us. E-Bike Friday. Yeah, that looks very, very good. Got those little wheels on them. Kind of cool. Yeah, they look very laid back. Just by looking at the angles on them, just from the picture. Ask an expert. Yep, that would be something that would work. That would work really well as far as running around town. I see they've got one that you can even carry a third carrier to hold luggage. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I have 2 steel bikes. I will do an update on my blue bike. I've made some changes to it. It looks really nice. I put a new, after the saddle broke, I got a new seat post and with the new saddle on there. There's Julie. Julie says folding bikes are really cool. I've got 2, one e-bike and the other are normal folding. Yeah, it look good. You're going for El Chicon say he's going for his daily ride. Well, enjoy. Bad vegan, is your wife excited about your growing YouTube career and cycling? I wouldn't call YouTube a career yet. If it weren't for the super legends, I wouldn't be spending this much time on it. YouTube's not quite paying the bills yet. So if it grows to that point, then I'm sure she'll be really excited. At this point, I'm juggling a lot of stuff. So yeah, as far as cycling clothing, it's not really an addiction. I just like looking good, not just cycling. Anything I wear, it needs to look good. Why bother? But yeah, cycling clothing, as far as I do it, I get things that are necessary. If you're going to ride, that's the reason I got the bud guards. It would make no sense to buy all this nice gear and then get on a bike in the rain and spray my rear with dirty water from the road off my wheels and come home with road grit on my nice expensive shorts. That's why I look at these guys. I'm like, what is wrong? What's missing here? Is there a defect? Think about it. They're riding $15,000 bicycles and they got dirty water from the road getting on their shoes and everything. And all they need is a $50 pair of mud guards. It just doesn't compute. That's why people look at us like we're weird. Why would you ride in the rain and do that? D.A. Duncan. Wow, super chatter. Excellent. I appreciate it, D.A. It's people like you that make this possible. People like you and Christopher Roxbury, Robert Tangler, and so forth. So I really like that. Mark X, you need to move the bar. I think Mark X was trying to do a super chat. You need to move that little bar because the way you're typing in, it's not going to change the default. The software. YouTube sent me a note because Psycho Warrior tried to do it and he just typed it in. You need to move the bar on your mobile device to put the amount on there. Stephen Crane, he said aesthetic because mud guards don't look so cool. Posers. Yeah, now that's a point, and I'm glad you said LOL. What's really cool? You think about it. There are other people using the road, sitting in cars, whatever else. They're looking at us like we're less than that. Think about it. You're out there, it's rainy, it's cold, especially this time of year, and you got water spraying on you. Who wants water on them in the cold? I mean, even the squirrels don't come out. So people look at it like, what? You know, you're wearing all this nice, expensive. Think about our jersey, what they average $50 to $75. We're not exactly struggling members of most societies, guys. This sport is expensive already. You don't need a $15,000 bike to get a lot of expense in cycling. Just the clothing, the shoes. Even if you get them on eBay, $50, $75 shoes. That's money. All this nice stuff, then you go spray water on it. Not just water, dirty water. The rain is not the problem. It's the stuff off the road from our wheels. The rain itself does not do a whole lot to you. You know, most of our jackets and stuff, they got a little bit of water resistance on it. You'll be fine. It's that spray that gets us. And so what happens, they can't ride as long. Now, even if they do get out there, look at it, the cleanup when you get home. It's not just the bike now. Your shoes, your clothing. That's why a lot of riders don't like to ride in the rain. How do we solve that? Mud guards. Now, mud guards are not anything innovative. They've always been on bicycles. When I grew up, they all came with mud guards, whether you needed them or not. They were just there. Those cruisers, you know, and we've kind of, because these bikes are for racing now, so they removed them. Yeah, because most of the time you don't need it. But for us, for the kind of riding we're doing, yeah, put it on there. It doesn't weigh anything and may not look too cool, but it doesn't look that bad. I got the black one that look nice to the top, next to the tires. Don't look that. And the funny thing about it is these guys that we ride with got the nerve to make jokes when we're in the parking lot when we show up, which does not. I don't care. But then they want to sit behind you and tell you, "Oh, I like following you." Yeah, that's what we get. The same people making jokes will get on your wheel and say, "Oh, I'm glad I'm following you." And you know why? Because the rooster tail is not there. So they know better. They just choose not to do it like you said. Posers. If it works, why not? I don't care about looks. Who cares? So we ride, Paul and I ride in the rain. We get home dry. It's not an accident. We have the rain capes. We have rain vests. We have what we need. We even went to the point where we took a shower cap, covered our helmet on a wet day. You know, so yeah, get what you need because they tell you what, nothing's wrong with riding in the rain. What we found is when we ride in the rain, the roads are clear. Most people don't like to drive in the rain. You have fewer cars out there than when it's dry. So we have the roads to ourselves. And we get a good workout because we're comfortable. That's the reason why we're looking at all these overshoes and all that. I love it. I love riding in the rain. So that, yeah, I don't let the rain stop me. It rained this morning, but I had to stay close to home because I needed to be on call for my wife. She needed to be able to reach me because her car's in the shop. She needed to get it back. She's already sorted that out. But I needed to be available, and that's why I did not go out. The rain didn't stop me, you know, but I will be out tomorrow riding, you know, so that's what we get. Let's see. Stephen Crane, yeah, he said, I'd rather have a dry ass. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. It just makes sense. What's the point? You spend all this money on all this stuff, and then you go out there and put dirty water on it. Then when you put it in this, when you bring it home, the water is black that comes out of it. You're ruining that garment. The life of the garment will drop because it's not just the water, it's all the other crap that's getting on it. And then if it's cold, you will freeze. Abel says, can you say something on the effect or importance of a fan during indoor training sessions? How much cooling one needs? I've noticed that the angle alone had an effect on my heart rate. Yeah. At the 2-hour mark, I guess that's the last one we'll take. That's our super legend, Abel. It's very important, Abel. Do not put the fan in front of you, even though it may seem that would be the best. Put it at an angle to where it's going to hit your shoulder and your back. Put it at an angle to your body. It will cool you more. You need a fan. You need air moving when you're indoor. Otherwise, you would just get too hot. And then sweat would drip all over the place. And sometimes even with the fan, you still want to have a towel nearby. I always have a towel hanging on the door in my studio where I work out. There's a towel on the door. Always I have a clean one there because I can reach it without getting off the bike. Some people will lay a towel on their bars or whatever. You may or may not need a towel, but run a fan. You feel so much better. I use one of those fans that sit on the floor. You can use any kind of fan. You just want moving air. And when I do an indoor workout, I don't put on a jersey. I just put on my bib tights and work out. I don't need a jersey. You know, that's it. And so that will make a big difference. Run the fan on. I run mine on high. I want that air flowing around. And a lot of times, depending on your central air and what you're doing with it, that should be enough. Sometimes I'll even run the fan in the room and that fan on the floor. You want the air moving around. It doesn't need to be moving very fast, but you want that moving around to wick the moisture off your body because you're gonna sweat. That's the biggest thing with indoor training. Don't ever do it without a fan. It's just you will heat up too much. That's the key. So that's what you need. This time of year, don't shy away from the indoor work. It makes a difference. A good supplement. The days are shorter. Your schedule may be erratic. You may be spending more time at work or whatever else. Use the indoor training. That's why you guys hear us when on those rides. I said we're going long. We go long on Saturdays because that's when we can. We can't go out. You know, everybody's working, doing other stuff. During the week, you do a short workout 2 to 3 times the week, and then the weekends. Saturday, you got to go long. Whatever weekend morning you're free, if you're going to put on all that crap, go ride long. Even though other people don't want to do it, leave them. Ride with them for a while, then go. That's what we do. That's why you see it. You're looking at the films at the end, you will see maybe myself and Paul, or maybe another, just the two of us finishing our ride because those guys don't want to go far. They kill themselves for the first hour, and then when they get to that store, they're tired because they don't pace themselves. And we just go. We're doing more. So as a result, they will never be able to keep up with us because they're always doing less, and they're going too hard to build endurance anyway. So they go too hard, they're tired, then they come back home. Where we can ride at their pace, we're not going at max because we already have the endurance. So we're riding with them when they're at their max at zone 2 at our endurance pace. Then we go and do more hours than they do. So they'll always be behind. So you don't need to kill yourself to get fast. That's why they don't understand. What they need to do is go longer, build endurance that when you go fast, it will be faster than what you're doing now. So their fast will always be pretty slow. So that's why the pros ride 6 hours when they train. They're not doing it because they want to be out there for 6 hours. That's where you really get fast. You go slow to go fast. You can't go hard all the time. The body will need too much more rest. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. Let's see here. Who we got? We got a couple of other people. Abel, I'm glad you got your chat working. We're going to be doing this on Friday as well. I will schedule it. You're subscribed, you'll get the notice. You are the people that make this happen, so I like to see you guys attend because that's the reason I'm doing it. If it weren't for these guys, I wouldn't be able to invest 2 hours twice a week on this. And I'm glad that all of you are enjoying it, so you might want to look for it. D.A. Duncan, we thank you for your super chat. That's the stuff that keeps this stuff going. So we really appreciate all of you guys. John Marino said, would you consider doing bike review when your channel gets bigger and manufacturers send you bikes? I will, John. It's not the size of the channel. What I'm finding is they look at review videos that channels do. Then they decide who they want to send stuff to. They like the way I do my reviews. That's how we got MD and other people. I've already been approached by manufacturers, but like I said, some of these guys are from China and they're making crap. And when I see them, I'm like, I wouldn't buy that. So how can I come and show that to you? That's why you don't see bikes right now. So, but I know what you mean. Trek and the other guys have not approached me. But even if they did, I would want to see bikes that had angles for all riders, not just short guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. If all they make are 74-degree angle bikes, a big guy can't fit it. He won't be able to get his saddle back far enough. So, so whereas Cervelo, they do like 72 and other things, Cannondale. I would be leaning towards doing reviews for those companies that are accommodating all shapes and sizes of riders. Not that Trek isn't. I just use that as an example off the cuff. But I'm just saying that would be my selection criteria. Is this manufacturing catering to everybody? Or are they only making $20,000 bikes? I'm not going to do a review of $20,000 bicycles. Now, there may be a few people that want that, but that's not mainstream. We need more people riding bikes. We don't need just rich people riding bikes. So, I don't want this to be the rich channel. I want this to be the channel for everybody. So if they have a $20,000 bike, I'm going to ask them, do you have one for $5,000 or less or whatever? And so I try to bring, so even if I do a review of a $20,000 bike, I'm going to say they also make. So yes, that's already in the works. And you're right. I'm going to be doing that. And that's what, but I'm going to be selective on everything because I don't want the character. I don't want this channel to be elitist. It's not just for racers, because if you ride your bike and you get fast, you can race. You can race with anybody. You don't need to say I'm a racer to race. I want you guys to know that. Just riding a bike will make you ready to go faster. You guys see us, we ride with Team RR. They don't race. Then we'll also ride with those crazy fast racers. So yeah, you can do it. And that's how I want to come across everybody. You ride for a while, and if you want to give racing a test or a taste, yeah, you should be able to do that. But you need to put some structure. The guy in California, what's his name? Bad Vegan. You need to put some structure. Quit riding, hammering all year. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. Let's see here. Philip was late. Philip, you can join us next Friday. We're wrapping this on. 87.6 says he bought a Colnago frame set. I have it. It comes with a compression plug for the headset. Are those compression plug? No, they're not purchased separately. If you bought the frame set, you should have one. You called it a compression plug. That's really what basically sets the headset together. Yeah, I got one with mine as well. So thanks, Julie. I'm glad you joined us. Trials on Friday. We will be we'll be doing another one. And that way you can join us. Good to have you here. Oh, well, he said, what's the correct name? It's basically just a headset plug. I wouldn't call it necessarily, you can call it a compression plug. So we're done. Friday, I will schedule it. I'm not sure what the exact time will be, but it'll be around the same time. I schedule it 24 hours out. It will send you a notice, or you can look on the channel. But we are on Stitcher, guys. This will be played on Stitcher. So that's the so you guys take care and be good. We're out of here. We're done.